What's up, everybody? Welcome back to That BS Guy. I am That BS Guy. And it is time for the My Journey series video. I know some of you have been commenting on my last week's video and were wondering when this week's was coming out. And, well, I'm sorry for the delay. Usually I put videos out on Saturday, but I had to go visit my great-grandfather. That's actually where I'm at right now, is at his place, and I've had to set up a kind of like a makeshift studio in one of my old rooms I used to stay in. So forgive the bad lighting and whatever it may be. I'll be back at my place the following week to do my video. But let's get to the stats and then the topic of today's discussion. So I had my original surgery at Mi Doctor Hospital in Tijuana, Mexico on April 6, 2019. And my pre-operation weight was 378 pounds. Yeah, I know. And my operation weight after my pre-op diet was 363 pounds. As of today, which is June 23rd, 2019, I am at 292 pounds. So I didn't drop as much as I have the previous weeks. I've been averaging anywhere between 3 to 4 pounds. This time I went from it was like 2.6 pounds. Okay. I don't know if it's worth complaining about. But I will say it was a little bit more disheartening because you're used to like a certain pattern of weight loss, and then all of a sudden, you start to slow down. Now, I will say that I'm kind of on the other side of the hump as far as my weight loss journey is considered. To get down into my normal BMI, I need to hit around 215 or less pounds, and being at 291, I'm closer to that than I was at 378 pounds, obviously. So I am expecting this journey to be a little bit more difficult and longer from this point forward. With that being said, I am not disheartened. I am still noticing my shirts fitting a lot looser. If you go back to my alcohol testing video that I did with Kay, this is the exact same shirt that I was wearing. And if you look at the at how tight it was in that video, it's pretty apparent that I'm shrinking in size still. Like, this is now kind of loose on me, whereas it was pretty form-fitting when I took that video before. I've also been getting a lot of other unsolicited comments, mind you, about my face. So they're noticing like my jawline start to come in a little bit more. I'm not just a rounded face, and my dimples are apparently getting bigger. I don't know. That's just a comment that people have made. But I'm happy that they're just noticing any changes whatsoever. One of my friends just this last other night said that it's like, whenever I see you, man, you're like a whole new person. I'm like, cool. That's a good thing. I mean, I'm still me. I'm still the happy-go-lucky guy that I have always been. But what I will say is that, this weight loss journey has definitely enabled me to be a little bit more extroverted, to be a little more confident in myself. Every single week that passes, I'm a little bit more confident. And so I want to talk about the title of today's video is changes. Main changes, whatever it may be. I'll probably spice up the title like after I do this video and start editing and think, oh, that's a bad name. But ultimately the underlying theme is changes. And I'm going to do a separate video here after this video talking about some very specific things that I think need to be addressed. But the changes that you feel socially as you're going through this, like I've hit the point where people are like, yay, you're losing weight, hooray, but what does that really, how does that really affect me? Like, do they treat you different? And the answer is yes. Even in very subtle ways. Even the closest friends that you have do treat you a little bit different. And it's almost like in a way you're not being babied anymore, because when And I hate to say this, but when you're like an unattractive friend, you know, your friends know that, you know, you kind of need them in order for you to, you know, kind of carry your life a little bit. And I'm not saying I was ever unattractive. I'm just saying that, you know, comparatively till now, you know, I now hold my own, or a little bit more so, or in the level of normalcy, whatever you want to call it, compared to what I was before. Now, with that being said, I think it's important to recognize your own value as you go through these changes, because you listening to this video right now, you are a valuable person, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. People will kick you to the curb. People will treat you differently because you're big. People, you know, might stare at you for what you're wearing, or, you know, name something. We have all experienced this, okay? And it is so hard for other people to understand that, you know, we have to look at ourselves in a positive light. And when we start making these changes, all of a sudden now you're noticing people like maybe talking to you in a different manner. Maybe sometimes, you know, a person who never showed you the time of day now wants to spend time with you. Why do you think that is? I could take a guess. Or, you know, just the social opportunities are different. For me, I'm looking at this in the most simplistic fashion. So, like, I fly on planes a lot. I have not needed a seatbelt extender for a good month. I know that's not very exciting to some people, but honestly, like, the ability to just sit there and not have to be that, like, excuse me, can I get a seatbelt extender, you know, I'm fat ass, you know, that's not ever a fun conversation, because you always get this look from the guy or the girl next to you. You know, and it's not like they're saying anything, but it, over time, it definitely gets to you. And so I haven't needed a seatbelt extender. I went and got my hair cut. I didn't need the special neck thing. I'm fit. I can drive smaller cars. You know, I can fit in the seats easier. Like, I can actually sit in the, you know, on the plane in the exit row, because they have those secure seats that have the trays built into the sides, and so you can't really spread your legs too far, or position yourself besides straight forward. And you know, if you have a badonk, let's just say that if you have a badonk, sometimes it's hard to fit in that, let alone make sure you have enough room to buckle your belt. But now I got some inches on either side. I'm chilling. I don't have to worry about what seat I want. You know, I still can't sit on the smaller planes against the window, because I am naturally just, you know, a husky, girthy individual, and I end up smashing myself like this against the wall, and it's never a good feeling. Literally, it kind of makes my neck cramp, and I have some soreness. Speaking of muscles, some other changes that are happening is I've been being a little bit more consistent in the gym. It's been hard because of my travel schedule, but, you know, I am ridiculously sore right now. You know, lifting my arms, getting up out of my seat, you know, and I took the day off today. I was going to work out again today, but I wanted to give my muscles a chance to kind of calm down and do that. Plus, I had to go visit my great-grandfather because we're doing an estate sale here because he's moving. So, lots of different pieces going on. But I will say this, is that, you know, even at my lowest point where this week, where I was like, oh man, I gotta, you know, I'm sore, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the gym. And I forced myself to go. And I don't go that long, mind you. I go for like maybe an hour, hour and a half, hit certain muscle groups, do some cardio, do some core work, and call it good. You know, I'm not trying to be, you know, Mr. Beefcake or Mr. Cut-A-Lot, you know, like it's if that happens, cool, but I don't expect it to happen overnight, and I'm really more or less just trying to make sure that there's no minimizing loose skin things that might potentially come out here. So far, it doesn't look like there's going to be any huge issues, but, you know, I'm still got, I want to say, around 80 pounds left to go before I'm in where I really want to be, and down in that zone. So it's, a lot can happen between now and then. So never take it for granted. But I will say this: after I went to the gym, I felt so good. Like, energy wise, relaxing wise, it's been great. You know, I highly recommend, a moderate, to easy gym regimen, just to kind of build your energy and kind of build that cardio underneath you. Now, one thing I will say, and there's a doctor YouTuber out there, I forget his name, who has a video that is pretty popular. It's like why you shouldn't work out after bariatric surgery, and I'm not going to argue with a doctor. That's not my thing. Listen to him because he's a doctor. He knows what he's doing, what he's talking about. But I will say some physical activity, in general, has helped me and helps me kind of keep things motivated and keep things going forward, and it's building my energy level. And yes, you are not intaking the amount of calories you would need to rip out and Hulk out or whatever you want to call it. So just be mindful that is something. So if you're working out and you start feeling lightheaded, or you're just not feeling right, maybe you should talk to your doctor before starting a workout regimen. I think that's always recommended before you make any major changes. Make sure that you're healthy enough, you're healed enough. That's a big one. All my wounds have healed, but they're still red. They're not fully over. They don't blend in yet or anything like that. But beyond pigmentation, I think everything's good to go. I'm assuming that the insides are roughly the same, so I really can't complain. I felt strong enough. Nothing has been hurting. But then again, once again, I'm not doing any kind of power cleans or anything like that. I do bench press. I do this thing, the fly press or whatever you want to call it. I use a lot of machines that have isolated stuff. I don't tend to do free weights too much right now. The most free weight thing I do is the bench press, because it is a very common motion for me because I've done weightlifting in the past. If you've never done lifting in the past or any kind of physical exercise, I would definitely recommend speaking to your doctor before getting into any type of regimen. One last thing I'm going to mention that has been acting up more so lately with my expanded food choices that I've been incorporating now, is GERD. Okay, so and the layman term for GERD is acid reflux, or heartburn. If you're not familiar with that, it's a very, very, very common thing after bariatric surgery. So if I haven't talked about it too much because a lot of other videos talk about that, and but I will say that it has become a much larger problem for me, given everything. I will say that I think I may have discovered part of the problem. My protein shakes that I have, while I think the benefits way outweigh any kind of uncomfort I feel, I do feel that when you drink more than 2 of those, I tend to feel that acid reflux start to kick in. So I will take Rantadine or Omeprazole or whatever they're called. They're both heartburn things that you can take. One lasts for 24 hours, but it's a little weaker, so it just kind of rides over the next day. The Rantadine works pretty quickly and isolated. So it's choose your poison there, so to speak. But just know that if you're in this journey with me, or if you're about to go down this journey, or if you're even just a little bit ahead of me and you're like, man, he hasn't talked about acid reflux one bit, it's because I know. I know, and all the other videos know. I don't want to just rehash what everybody else talks about, but I will say, I think it's important to mention that you're not alone. If you're feeling that pressure here, if you're feeling, when you wake up, I've literally had to woke myself up because I was, I almost choked on it. So, it's bad. It can be pretty bad. So just make sure you monitor it and you're treating it if you're prone to that. But just lately, and it may have something to do with me working out. I don't know. I'll keep reporting in and let you know how this goes, because I'm exploring this just like everybody else. But long story short, I am happy where I'm at for being around week 11, and it is it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. You know, I think next week I'm going to break into the 280s. Oh my gosh, that's crazy for me. Like, that's all. I just realized I'm approaching, you know, almost the 100 pound mark. I've got like, what, 12 more pounds, 13 more pounds before 100 pounds? Century Club? Expect that video to be big. One other thing I wanted to make sure to add before we get out of here today is I have been going out on the weekends, and I have had some drinks here and there, and let me tell you, just be careful. Be very, very careful. Like, if you haven't seen my alcohol testing video, go ahead and watch that one. And that was a couple weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And let me tell you, drinking is efficient when you're out. But remember, no carbonated drinks. My drink of choice has been vodka with regular flat water, like tap water, and some limes. I mean, does the job. It's not going to be the greatest tasting thing, and it doesn't have nearly as much sugar as a vodka cranberry. If you do a vodka cranberry, I do recommend doing vodka, water, and cranberry to kind of dilute the cranberry down a little bit more, so it's not quite as sugary and not as overpowering. I know that some people have been bothered by that. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm just not feeling the limes, because the limes are very acidic, and so that can cause GERD and some other things to happen because of that. Maybe I just answered my question why I've been having so much heartburn lately. The things we discover together. But because of that, you know, you want to just make sure that you're monitoring yourself and never drive. I'm going to tell you that right now. Do not attempt to drive yourself after even drinking one drink. It is not worth the risk. It's not worth any of the trouble that you could get into, losing your job, whatever it may be. Just take it from me. Take an Uber, take a Lyft, take a taxi, get a ride from a friend, call that person that, you know, that's always offering to take you places, whatever it may be. Just do not drive yourself. With that being said, the positive is I don't spend a lot of money anymore. Like, I'm a pretty cheap date. It is what it is. One other thing that goes with that is hangovers. I didn't usually get like really throbbing headache hangovers before or anything like that, but you know, if you drink past or too fast or to a point, I definitely have woken up like really not feeling good, like in the head. I'm not nausea or anything like that. I haven't thrown up or any of that craziness. I'm not drinking that much, but you know, it does hurt. You know, you have achy muscles and things like that. So make sure you pair it with a good amount of water, just regular water, as you're going through the evening, and I think you'll be good. I'm still testing a lot of the methods here, and I still don't do shots. It's just not a thing that I want to get into. I know that would be a very bad situation for me if that's going to happen. But I digress. Point is, life is happening, and I'm still living. I'm losing weight. My shirts are fitting better, or they're looser. And I love the fact that we're growing. The channel's growing. Oh my gosh! Like, even over this past week, I've almost grown by 6 or 7. Like 5 or 6 people. That's awesome. Something's happening where my videos are starting to now, pick up. And I love that. So thank you for those of you who have subscribed. I'm now like 55-ish subscribers, 54-ish subscribers, and I couldn't be happier. Now we only need 45 more to get to that 100 mark, so I could really start promoting the channel better. If you haven't shared the channel with friends who are maybe thinking about bariatric surgery or whatever, please feel free to do so. If you have a question, feel free to drop them down below, or to become a follower on my Twitter. I still only have one person, so it's kind of like a back and forth conversation if they ask me anything. But I encourage you all to communicate. I'm a very, very responsive person. I will try and answer your questions as best as I can. And also, your questions help me think about what other videos I could do besides the My Journey series videos. So thank you so much for participating in that. Anyways, once again, if you haven't subscribed or if you haven't liked this video, please do so. So hit that little like button down below, and also that subscribe button down below. It really helps me out to promote these videos. And that's all I got folks. So I want to thank you once again for showing up. I will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.